Hello, everyone. This is August 27th, 2017. We are conducting the second planetary synthesis event. The purpose of this energy process and event is so that we can transcend into the next harmonic universe. Sammie and the collective, what we might call the collective consciousness of the children or the autist collective are revealing who they are and what their purpose has been. So we are here to put in new reference points to start engaging with the vibrations and consciousness of the next harmonic universe. And Sammie has been wanting to do this so that we can all make a smooth and clear, clean a transition as we can as a collective and as a planet. So if you all take a moment now and breathe into your hearts. In the name of the I Am and in accordance with the law of one, may all that we do today be in alignment with each person's soul purpose and soul gifts. We are one as a collective and one as a harmonic. I call forward all the macrocosmic aspects of my being. Allow that to come forward and expand the heart. I call forward all the microcosmic aspects of being. Let's take a deep breath. Clear any energies that are not in accordance with the law of one. We activate the crystalline earth, the 144 grid of the multidimensional earth. We expand out to our solar system. Our galaxy. Our galactic cluster, Laniakea. And our entire universe. We're also going to call in now the next harmonic universe and the pillars that connect us to the next harmonic universe. I'm going to invite Sammie in now, who has a little message. Sammie is actually laying down still. She seems to like to participate that way. It's more comfortable for her, but yeah, I can feel her consciousness now really coming in. Greetings, my fellow divine masters. We of the collective consciousness of the children, the collective oversoul of the autism beings are here to greet you. The galactic beings of this universe who have achieved and mastered the law of one are also here today. Today we also are inviting in the solar beings, the solar masters from the omniverse. These masters created the original universes. They are in formlessness and form. They are holding our space. They are holding the space of the law of one. They come through from the macrocosmic and microcosmic levels, from the light and the black liquid light that creates this universe. We are now in a phase where polarity is blending together. You have been experiencing harsh polarity where there has been a separation of the black liquid light and what we would call the white liquid light. And today we will be blending with those two aspects so that we can move forward in balance and harmony. This process has already been naturally and organically unfolding. The cosmic gateways of this year have built up to this moment. And we invite you to open your minds, expand your hearts, and to build new reference points. Allow us to build new reference points in the subconscious and the unconscious so that we may together transcend harsh polarity, paradigms of duality, and we can become the true blended beings, the avatars in alignment with Source. So if you take a deep breath, and invite the kids to also lock down and seal this session, to open to the 0 point field, and may all who enter feel and experience the love, the grace, the peace that is in alignment with the law of one. This is a neutral field, a neutral space, the 0 point field from which we can co-create a new reality. Okay, so I'm going to just do a brief review of what occurred this past month. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because there's so much going on in at so many different levels that it's hard to capture all of it. And for those of you who are joining in, you have likely been following a lot of other people who have had information about the Lionsgate and the solar eclipse. So I'm just going to make a few comments about that from our perspective, some of the things that happened. So the Lionsgate on the 8/8 seemed to open the portal for all that was dismantled, all that's been dismantling in the last, I would say 3 or 4 years, to really start to be cleared. So if you've been on this ascension path, you know that we've been clearing at the emotional level, the mental body, the physical body, and then in the last year or so, what's been coming up is what we would call the matrices or the geometries underlying the structure that has allowed those that reality and those principles, that the consciousness, what I would just call of the old paradigm, to be held in place. And so we've been dismantling at a very rapid rate this year, and the Lionsgate seemed to open the portal where it's physically being cleared out now. And so what we experienced as part of the Lionsgate also was that was a spiritual alchemical law of genetic consciousness. So down to the genetic levels now, we are being invited to restructure ourselves, and so and put in new reference points and placeholders so that we can make the leap into the next harmonic universe. The solar eclipse, from our perspective and what we experienced, it was almost like if the moon represented like sort of a blackness, and if we think about the the color black as absorbing light, it was almost as if it was like a sponge that was kind of wiping away and clearing out all the old debris that's been kicked up in this dismantling process. So that's kind of what we had seen happening. The new foundation that's being built is it's built on an intrinsic knowing. It's built on our soul being connected to the oversoul. It's at the level of what I would call the oversoul that we can operate as unity consciousness. And when it's sort of like saying from that big oversoul matrix, maybe there are like individual souls that come and that express the physical body that we are, the physical vessels that we are, and the manifestation of our physical bodies is to be in alignment with that greater oversoul, the grand oversoul. And it allows us to know what our unique gifts are and what we're here to deliver. So as we are now open to the soul and the oversoul, it's going to be much more intrinsic, even down to the genetic levels, where the law of one, if you remember, if you joined us in the last event on July 23rd, that the law of one is actually ingrained right into our DNA. And so the spiritual alchemical law of genetic consciousness seems to be really awakening that. Oh, and Sammie's also saying there are also microcosmic portals from the black liquid light that comes right through our DNA even. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about the black liquid light and what that means as we go forward here. So, okay. So I've been talking a lot about the law of one. I know a lot of you heard about the law of one. I didn't use that language until starting in January this year. It's just started naturally coming, like symbols that was in alignment with the law of one. So I thought, well, what do we mean by the law of one? So I started researching on the internet, but then I decided, well, why not ask the Autism Collective? What do they have to say about the law of one? So it was pretty exciting what they had shared with me. I'm gonna share my screen here and go through just briefly what they had presented. So let me move this out of the way here for myself. So according to the kids, hang on, sorry. The law of one is, I was surprised, but they said that one of the young boys was came in very strong, and he said, joy is the first principle within the law of one. Creator experienced the first joy in creating itself in its own image. This allowed for self-reflection. Self-reflection is a joyful rendering. It allows creation to stay aligned and focused to the One. You honor yourself and the One when you are in self-love. It is Creator's joy to have created each of you as a reflection of itself. So be joyful in loving yourself and all creation. Intrinsic to this law of one is knowing that all of creation is a vibration of the One and connected by the infinite calculus at the macrocosmic and microcosmic levels. God creates with love. Love is source of creator information of everything that is, and this love is shared like a well of knowledge, sustenance, and breath. We are therefore created to be whole unto ourselves and also part of the whole. This is no mystery and nothing is held back. So I thought, well, you would think that love is the first law of, first principle within the law of one. But it was the sense that I was getting from them was that love is a given. You know, it is source. It is the formless one. And we've been existing in a paradigm or sort of, let's say, a box where we were not completely in every minute aspect through the microcosmic levels connected to source consciousness. Because when we're connected to source, we are connected through all channels, all avenues, all portals are open, and information is shared freely. So it's like we're a reflection of source consciousness. So our experience is being relayed back to source, and it's sort of like the system is being updated by our experiences, and so then we are informed about the experience, and there's literally nothing is held back. So this is love from the perspective of the kids. It is the fabric of all of creation. So that's why we're saying God creates with love, and it's joy was the first principle that this young man had said. Unity intelligence is sentience as vibration, perfection of the divine plan, contemplating itself and unfolding. When you see yourself as a divine masterful plan unfolding, then you surrender to this intelligence and experience as the creator. Trust in the divine plan, and you will know that spirit moves you along this stream of unity intelligence. And Sammie is adding, she wants to emphasize that at the level of the oversoul is when we intrinsically understand these principles and of unity intelligence. So the surrendering, I think, is a difficult part for many people because it feels like you're giving up something of yourself. We've been raised, I think, in this culture anyway, in the Western culture, about individuality, and so that sort of created what I would call a separateness. And when we surrender to first our own soul, then we can surrender to the oversoul matrix, and we co-create with that unity intelligence. Okay, so let's see, next slide. Because everything is vibration, unity consciousness as a unified field is acknowledged as a basis for creation. You are each a stream of unity consciousness expressing an imprint to manifest the grand design. Again, that's like the idea, the concept of we each have a unique gift. We are a unique vibration of that greater oversoul, and we're like a stream of that energy, even as a physical being, and here to manifest as a collective. Service to the one is service to one another. There is no greater expression of love than to know one's unique gift of service and to live fiercely to adhere to it. We of this collective know our divine calling and adhere to the unity of this principle. So for me, that explained like a lot of our kids, behaviors, their unwillingness, let's say, quote, unwillingness to conform to the societal norms that we have been operating from. It's because they know their purpose. They wanted to stay connected to that oversoul divine plan and not the plan of humanity. And that's what was needed in order to now move into this next phase of evolution. Co-creation is a synergistic collaboration with sentient beings. See every moment that requires an action, even an inaction, as made possible because of this synergy. So to them, we stay aligned to all the laws of the law of one that encompass the law of one, and we become masterful co-creators that really does no harm to any other sentient beings when we can operate from that consciousness. Creation is responsibility. This means know the spiritual laws and move only when aligned to all its laws. So I thought that was very, very helpful. And I'll post this, I don't know, maybe as a file in our Facebook page, Moonoros. We have a Facebook page, moonoros.one. And I was telling someone else that I keep this separate from my own personal page, the Susan Oros personal page, because not everyone is sort of ready for this information. So if you, it'll be on the moonoros.one Facebook page, and it's a public page, so you can find that. Okay. So the next point that Sammie wanted me to go to was, and actually all the kids, was because I'm going to be talking a lot about, black liquid light, the is not spaces. And so I want to give a, sorry, my pen is not working. I wanted to give an overview of, sorry, I forgot to check that it was working. So the is not space is like, the metaphor that they gave me was like, so this is the metaphor with the tree and the branches. We've been operating as if, like, let's say one branch of a tree that was sort of separated from its origin, and only reaching for the light, seeing the light as it's only like as if it's the only source of its sustenance. But really there's much more going on, right? We are part of this tree, but we're also part of this space here that is invisible, the roots, okay? Except that this is not space, or the black liquid light, let's say, is like, it's actually all around us. It is it's in the is not space that matrices are created of what it is not, to allow the light to come through for what is. So if you think about it that way, even let's say like tiny molecules in the air are all being held together by this is not space, black liquid, the black black light, black liquid gold, even that the kids are talking about. So, and the reason why I'm bringing up this black and this white, and a lot of you who are listening to this, I think all intrinsically understand. This is for people who may be watching the video later, who may just be starting to wake up, that there's a lot of preconceived ideas about what the blackness, the darkness, that we've been conditioned to believe that it's bad, and that it's an absence of light. But there's actually in this blending now of the white light and the black light, there is a merging taking place. There are even now masters of the black liquid light coming forward. I know that there's at least one child, I think he's probably only 4 or 5 years old, who is a master of this black liquid light. So a lot of new information, I think, is going to be coming from these new awarenesses. And in order to resolve the harsh polarity that we've been existing in, we need to now blend these concepts together. So, okay. So let's see. Okay. The process now that's taking place, that's underway, is exponentially accelerated. There's so much happening on a daily basis that it's difficult to keep up with. But today we're going to actually put in some reference points, and they're like new chakras, so that we can start getting used to the harmonics of the next harmonic universe. And it's already underway. And I was a little concerned that some of the energy work and things that we're going to do today would be maybe a little bit too much for people, especially for people who are just waking up. But the information that I'm getting is that it's already underway, it's already organically happening, and that these reference points are going to bring things into alignment and balance and a little bit more coherence. Also, I want to say here that the information, the analogy that I just made with the tree and the light, this is not this is not dogma. We're not creating another religion with this information. We're providing information in a language that we are familiar with, so that people can make as smooth a transition as we can. Sammie is also saying the black liquid light is also infused with gold and the crystalline light. It is where the Devic realm operate from, and the elemental spirits. They have been held back in this last epoch and were manipulated to create really not in alignment with the law of one, and not in alignment with the natural laws of source consciousness. She wants to emphasize that each of you here is a master of the liquid light, both the white light and the black liquid light. It is you who, as you blend within your own physical being and manifest the spiritual laws of nature, of genetic consciousness, the universal laws of the omniverse, that you will naturally begin to assist all of humanity through your work. She's asking that we take a moment now and to even call in our soul group from around the planet, from this galaxy, from this universe, and from even the omniverse. Allow the Christic beings to come through you, dismantle miasmatic spaces and matrices within the fractalized portals of your DNA even. So she's showing me even like when we look at, let's say, an electron, like an atom, there's a nucleus, and then there's electrons that circle, let's say circle the nucleus. But let's say even these in-between spaces here are open. And even at the quanta, the level of the quanta within the nucleus, it's all open. And black liquid light is, she's saying, imagine that the black liquid light is in all those spaces that you can even imagine. So that's how deep we're going now. And there'll be new technology now that we're accessing the black liquid light, and as we start to master the realms of light and black light, there will be all kinds of new information coming through, and we'll also be developing, she says, a whole new language, because right now the language that we have is even limited to what can fully be explained and described. She's asking that you allow yourself to experience it, to be it, to allow those portals, as many portals as you can access, to open now. Okay. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about, let me black this out for a second. Something that happened on July 27th. And the reason why I'm talking about this is, number one, it's sort of an example of how the grand scale that this group of autistic individuals are operating from, or the collective consciousness of the children, and how intense it can be, and it may be an example of some of the behaviors, the difficult behaviors that we see them in, why that kind of manifests. So we were driving home on July 27th, and Sammie started banging her head on the car window. I mean, so hard that I rolled the window down, but that didn't even stop it. Then she started banging her head right on the edge of the window and the door, so much so that I had to pull over to help her be safe. So in that moment, I stood next to her outside the car door, and I just had to open my field. I called on actually all the trees. The trees are rooted. I called on the tree spirits, and expanded out, and I just was open to see what was happening, and this is what I was shown. So, and again, this is not to scale, and it's just a metaphor. So if you joined us last time or watched the YouTube video, this is sort of the diagram that we had worked from. So what I saw was that what it looked like was happening was that this matrix here was actually coming down. If you can imagine, it was like coming down into this space down here, almost like it was like as if it was just outside the Earth or next to our galaxy. there was like a big opening there. And again, this is in the is not space, space. So so some of the kids were actually constructing this matrix as it was coming down. And then there was another group actually the other way, let's say out into the omniverse or into wherever they're connected, the seventh heaven. They were simultaneously building this matrix as it was coming down. So there was a group that was going out that way, let's say. And then there was another group that was building it as it was coming down. Sammie and her group, they were actually physically, through their physical body, bringing this down and then placing this new matrix right into this space. And so what I was told was that this is the new alpha and omega cycle for the next harmonic universe. So it's like saying, so my understanding right now is that, let's say source has an alpha and omega cycle, a beginning and an end cycle of a creative expansion. And okay, I'm trying to see what Sammie's saying. If she's saying it's a creative expression for a cycle, and we are aligned to this cycle through the law of one, and the oversouls, and then there's an oversoul dedicated to that alpha and omega cycle. There are approximately, she's saying, 90 billion souls in an oversoul matrix. So that's a lot of souls. And they have a divine mission, so to speak, to carry out in that new alpha and omega cycle. So again, this is, if you remember, this is our entire universe. Once this was planted, what I saw the next day was that some of the kids are actually working on building this matrix within the new harmonic, for the new harmonic universe. So so some of them are actually constructing and weaving this matrix together. My sense is that this will be completed, is that right, Sam? On July 27th, 2018. So there's a period here where we're getting adjusted and used to the changes that's taking place. Interesting that the 27 is like a 9, which in numerology, I guess, is the number of completion. So pretty darn amazing what they're working on and the scale that they're working from. So if they seem far away and absent at times, they're not doing it. They're not just doing nothing. They are doing a great deal of energy work. They're doing a great deal of matrix construction. So pretty darn amazing. Okay. In this phase now, we're going to go into the energy process. So if you will all take a deep breath. I'm going to be working on the the collective human template. I'm going to take this symbol for a second, liquid chokure, and clear the 7 body chakras. So just clearing the 7 body chakras. Drop an anchor down into the Earth Star, or the 12th chakra, about 6 inches below your feet. Also engaging the 13th chakra, about 12 inches below our feet. And imagine that we're actually grounding to the harmonics of the crystalline earth, Sammie is telling me. There's a lot of clearing going on in the physical earth herself. Old memories. If many of you probably know that there are memories held in the crystals and the very minerals of the earth. And so you may not want to ground to the center of the physical earth right now. So Sammie is making some sounds. She's doing a clearing of even the 13th chakra, she's saying, okay. So the 13th chakra, let's see it as an aquamarine liquid light so that we stay connected to the fluidity of the crystalline earth and the mother. And so now drawing back up, we're gonna hit the thymic chakra, or the 8th chakra, the universal heart. In the back of the head, the 9th chakra and the medulla oblongata. Connect to the 10th chakra, or the soul star, about 6 inches above the head. Then the 11th chakra. The kids are doing a tremendous amount of clearing right now in the 11th chakra. Let's let them clear that for a second. And you may even feel almost like a liquid light pouring down from the 11th chakra. Feels like engaging the Christic beings. Let's go to the 14th chakra, about 3.5 feet above the head. And we take a cord and send it all the way out to Andromeda. And some of our kids are actually working very closely with Andromeda, keeping us connected to Andromeda. Andromeda is the heart of our universe. And hosting our ascension to the next harmonic universe. So they are doing a lot of work with the Andromedan Council and the humans, the human oversoul matrix. Oh, we're saying, okay. So now that we've cleared, we're going to do an attunement to this liquid chokure. If some of you are practicing Reiki, you know about chokure already. This is liquid chokure, a little bit of a variation. The reason for this attunement is to adjust the chakra system, adjust the frequencies of the chakra, and allow you to more readily and easily integrate the new harmonics that's coming in. It's to stay aligned and balanced. So you can do energy work with this liquid chokure, but our main purpose is so that it clears your chakras and allows you to physically better hold the liquid light information that's now streaming through. So doing energy work with the symbol is beyond the scope of this event right now. Okay. So if you'll all take a moment and sit in prayer position. And activate some symbols, and this opens your chakra system. And it also anchors in your root chakra, so if you feel some energy there, that's why. It opens and engages your chakra system. And then we're gonna and we're using some of Sammie's symbols. That's why it enables people to hold that information better. Let's drop down for a second to the 12th chakra and connect the tailbone to the 12th chakra, or Earth Star, to the Soul Star, or 10th chakra above your head. Stay balanced. Yeah, you feel a little woozy. Okay. Do another one of Sammie's symbols. Opens up the interdimensional spaces in your body, and also your heart chakra. It opens up more of your heart chakra. I'm going to align to your hand and feet chakras, palm chakra, and the heart is the center. So you might feel tingling in your hands and your feet. So now, for a second, raise your hands up to about this level, about your forehead. And I'm going to draw the symbol right above your head, right there, like a chakra ray. And intend that it's coming right down through your chakra system and your hands. Place your hands at the heart level. Breathe. Open palms for a second. We're also going to do it one more time. The kids are actually etching it right into our hands right now. So allow them to just draw the symbol right into your hands. They've also engaged a blue star icosahedron, which is a 20-pointed star. And all around the 7 main body chakras. They're saying it's to help us hold it better and be in coherence with this energy. So the collective, let me take a look at the collective human template. A sense of how everyone's feeling. How's everyone doing? Okay, Sammie's reminding me, show people how it's drawn. So you draw the symbol by drawing the horizontal line first, all the way across, and then you start at the hook and come down. Oh, sorry, it's not going all the way down. And then, oops, down. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's down. I got confused for a second. Sorry. Goes to the left. So that's how you draw it. Sammie's reminding me, be careful with your energetically sensitive kids. They already run a lot of energy. So be careful about using, doing energy work with them with this symbol. They probably don't need it. You can work on other people and work on yourself with the symbol. You can activate it by drawing it in your hands, just like that, drawing it in your hands, and then you can meditate with it. You can also draw it really big in front of you, this, and then step into it. Does a good clearing in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. Okay. And let me see how everyone's feeling. I'm looking at the time. Okay, oh, that's right. You need to now close your system up. So I'm going to close the system with this silver serpent. And liquid choku ray also I'm going to close. And use this symbol called Zera and Zeru, which are Sammie symbols as well. That balances the soul. And take a moment and bring all the energy, excess energy down so that it's not so heavy in the head. Clear it into the liquid light of the Earth Star. They're saying now, let's everyone take a moment and from your tailbone connect to your Earth Star, the crystalline grid of the Earth. You're going to send this out to the entire planet through the grid. Okay. Okay. All right. We could all take a moment now, and I'm going to do some pretty heavy duty energy processes. So in order for everyone to integrate it with grace and ease, take a moment and in front of yourself, see future etheric bodies of yourself and allow your soul to guide how many of those etheric bodies you need in order to step into each phase of this, the energy work that we're going to proceed in. Okay, so just allow it to be 3 to 5, it feels like, for most people, and even people who are joining in the recording, watching the recording later. Some even 7. So that as we go along in sort of linear time, we're integrating piece by piece. And even the human collective template. Okay. I'm going to draw and engage the Hara line with liquid plasma light, which goes right down the center of our being. Stabilize. And another one that goes kind of underneath the arm, horizontally. And another one from the back, right through the heart chakra, through the front, to stabilize. And it also goes through, right through all the etheric bodies. Of your future etheric selves. Okay. It feels like everybody's ready now. Okay. Go to the next. Okay. We're going to open and engage the other channels. We have access to very whole lot of channels actually. And our chakra system is actually really not the main portals for embodying. Actually, we have something called the axitonial lines. If you joined us on the April 1st webinar, these are like the horizontal, very refined energy lines that come down from source and go out in the other direction, let's say. And for our energetically sensitive kids, these axitonial lines are actually much more prominent, and they feel more comfortable integrating to that kind of alignment, not the chakras. The chakras will actually disappear at some point and become one column of light, and there may be just like little gems where the chakras were, but they're like multidimensional reference points is what it really is. So the axitonial lines, we're going to start with, if you join us, we'll start with the right hand, palm up, and I'll draw the numbers on here so that you can do it yourself later. So let's say that's the palm. So we start with the pinky, and the code for the pinky is 3. So you squeeze your pinky, find the corresponding toe on your right foot, the pinky toe. I'm going to squeeze it and intend to open the axitonial line 3. This also makes connections, is connected to the solar plexus, the 3rd chakra, and the associated meridians. Okay, so 3. The ring finger is a 6. 6, and again also 3rd eye. 6, find the corresponding toe. Open the meridians, acupuncture points associated with axitonial line 6. The middle finger is 9. Find the corresponding toe on your right foot. Also connects to the 9th chakra in the medulla oblongata. Next one, index finger, opening axitonial line 2. I don't remember. 2. Also the sacral chakra. Engage the meridian system and the axitonial lines. The thumb is 8. Find your big toe also. And from your toes, it's going into the, also connecting to the crystalline earth and coming from way above, or from source consciousness, let's say. Okay, moving to the left hand. So I want to say right, and this is left. Again, starting with the pinky of the left hand. This is 4. Find the corresponding toe on your left foot. Also connects to the heart chakra. Take a moment. There's a lot of, we're doing a heart expansion as well. So opening the collective human heart. Okay, there's a lot of microcosmic spaces that are opening up in the heart chakra of this collective human, which is great. 4, okay. This one is 7, ring finger on your corresponding toe. Also the crown chakra. Okay, we're gonna actually, some blocks from the collective human consciousness of the that we're sending it out into the black liquid light. There's a lot of closed spaces in there. And the kids blow right through that crown chakra, so you might feel like a dizziness for a second. And many fibers just went right down, connected to the Earth star from the crown. And a lot of them that just opened up. Balancing with black liquid light in the crown chakra. We're doing a mental body clearing. Bring into balance. Okay. Into the 0-point field. Take out some of that stuff. Okay. Collective human consciousness. Okay. All right. So 4, 7. The middle finger is 10. And also connected to then the soul star, or the 10th chakra. Okay. And corresponding toe. Okay, that's good. All right. So now the index finger is 1, and the corresponding toe. And the thumb is 5. The thumb is 5. And the corresponding toe. 5 is the throat chakra. Okay, and the 1 is with the root chakra. Maybe. All right, 5. There's a lot of clearing that needs to be done in the matrix of the 5th chakra from the collective human oversoul. Okay, great. Kids have surrounded it with the star icosahedron. And they're breaking down old structures. This is the energy of a Pleiadian dragon. I'm going to draw some points from the 5th chakra down to the solar plexus. And in order to engage a new egoic matrix, the ego matrix has been held in the solar plexus, and we did this on April 1st too, but to really move it into the throat chakra, or the 5th chakra, as soul beings, identifying now, the body identifying itself as a soul being is the idea of it. And probably many of you know that the throat chakra is what we use to express, not just in sound, but what we might create with our hands. And it's this alignment where we can create as a soul being. Okay. So the code in the left hand is, oops, wrong screen, 12. 12 for the masculine. Code on the right palm is 13, 13. Sorry about my scribbling. So see that on your palms. Place your hands together. Blending masculine and feminine. All microcosmic aspects of the masculine and feminine together. Gonna do another symbol here. This is actually liquid fire serpent. For those of you who are familiar with Reiki, this is the liquid fire serpent connected to the Earth Star. Okay. So yeah, right palm is 12, 12. Someone's telling me, check that again. Yeah, check 12, 12, 12, and 13, 13. That's the codes. Okay, so I'm just gonna put something here. This is the pinky finger. Start with pinky. For future reference. You don't wanna remember, okay. I'm gonna go to, so we not only have vertical channels, but we also have horizontal channels. This is the, what I call, Sammie introduced me to these octogenarians. They seem to be from the next harmonic universe. They're directly opposite the Earth from the Milky Way galaxy. They are descendants of the Syrians, or what you might even consider the ascended Syrians. And so I'm just going to use this image, like your whole body's encased in it, coming right through you from the right side and the left side. Okay, the collective human is having a little trouble with this. Okay, human template. All right, so what do you need to make this okay? All right, so activate a symbol for mental and emotional balance. The collective human. So we have the vertical and the horizontal channels now open and available. Activate Roganadra, Cosmic Unicorn. Roganadra is completely black with white wings, and his horn represents multidimensional awareness. The wings and the body, the black and the white, is the blending of the white light and the liquid black light. So the liquid white light, liquid black light in balance and harmony. And so when we engage Roganadra as a field around us, it also activates the rainbow meridian system. So let's engage the light body, each of your light bodies. And see these rainbow points. And they literally go right through us. It connects the our acupuncture points and the nadis. Of the black light and the white light. Take another moment to that in. So this is also one of the other kids is also telling me it also engages now the egg of life in our perineum. Those are the original 8 cells that still remain there in the area of the perineum. Oh, this young man, he's actually deleting some of the DNA codes that was not even ours, that's really not meant to be there, that we don't need going forward. It's more like miasma codes. Okay, we'll continue that process. So now, even with the light body activated, you might see some points in that light body around you. They seem to have a resonance with even our RNA. RNA is the ribonucleic acid. They sort of work with our DNA. They can change the blueprint, activating the RNA. And they have like sound vibrations with these points that are in resonance with our RNA. That's what this young man is saying. Thank you. Okay. Next is Minerva, another cosmic unicorn, and it works in balance with Roganadra. As you can see, Minerva is gold in color. I mean, has gold wings, white body. She is a sort of a being that came about from the Christ Sophianic consciousness. So that would be like saying the balance of the knowledge of the Father and in balance with the wisdom of the Mother. Christ Sophianic consciousness. Her horn represents the spiral and vertical nature of time, actually. I've been experiencing it linearly, but as a alpha and omega time matrix, it is actually a spiral. So take a moment and engage Minerva, activate it around. I'm actually going to, okay, actually asking me to do some other symbols here. Okay, so now Maya and Ibala. Okay. Balance to the, even within the DNA, if you've seen the DNA strand, there's one that goes this way, another one goes that way. So the two are like placed together. We can even look at the DNA as one side being masculine, one side being like feminine. Oh, and the RNA is like neutral. So that's why they have the RNA as well. It's the 3 that actually balances. So one side can be like the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, and they come together. And the RNA balances, keeps it balanced. So, okay, let's try to see if it seemed like there was something else from this young man. It seems like he's okay. Okay, so now we're ready to go to some of the new points that are engaging. This is already naturally and organically happening. We felt it starting to happen like last Thursday or so. So This is representative of the head, and this is sort of like in the center, what would be the center of the head. There is a new neurology being built right as we are going along here. So, and in the next harmonic universe, the vibrations, so we're getting the vibrations of what we might call the 19th dimension, the 16th, the 17th, and 18th, and the 19th there. It's going into the actually the thalamus. So again, see yourselves as your etheric bodies, and only integrate what is comfortable for you as we go over the next several days or weeks. So first, we're actually going to engage this 19th point, which is Denadra, a liquid sun from what we would consider the 19th dimension. So take a moment, and this is connecting to the brain stem in the area of the ninth chakra even. So I'm going to, the kids are going to do this, okay? So they're bringing their star icosahedron. And outside of that is actually that octogenarian 12-pointed star. So the star icosahedron is within that, and they are surrounding that 19th dimensional point there with that. And that goldish energy is actually copper. Copper is a very, very efficient metal for transmitting life force energy. So that's what that's doing there. Going down into the Earth star. To the next one. Okay. Let's go to the 16th point there. Okay. Same thing. The kids are going to bring that image or matrix into that point. And they're asking me to draw a liquid violet flame here. So this represents the liquid violet flame there. Because the liquid violet flame contains all the colors of those exotonial lines. Okay. You might get on your hands and feet and see how the collective human's doing. Cleaning out the solar plexus a little bit more in of the collective human, and the sacral chakra of the collective human, and the root chakra. Okay, let's go to 17. Same thing, kids are surrounding that with matrix. 18, same thing. Okay, right in the center of that thalamus. Okay, if you're feeling a little hot, it's burning out some things. Let's draw the energy down. I'm going to draw some excess energy down and out to the 0-point field. Right into the 0-point field. Any excess energy that we don't need. Clear it out. It's too much. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take this from that 18th chakra point. I don't know if those chakras are going to remain there. Right now they're connecting to activate our thalamus in a brand new way, and so that we get used to the vibration of the next harmonic universe. So again, this is not dogma, and they may not remain there. So I'm going to draw an energetic, use that copper cord from the 18th point and go all the way down into the Earth star. And the 17 as well, we're saying, and the 16th point down into the Earth star. So the thalamus, and again, I'm not a neurologist, but these words just, they come to me in my third eye. I see it, I look it up to see what that's about, and that's how I've learned. But yeah, I'm not just naturally a neurologist. So the thalamus, from what Sammie has been saying, is the connection, is the intelligence actually of sentience. So it's at that state that's even pre-verbal, beyond words, pre-words even. It's that state of the knowingness, before the words. And so we have had this attraction to the cerebrum, as being the higher mind and higher intelligence, but it's actually the thalamus, from what they're saying, is the true intelligence, and is going to be really filtering all the input that comes into us gets filtered through the thalamus and through the rest of the brain. So it's a much more natural kind of intrinsic connection. Hypothalamus, it seems to affect the hypothalamus, which is kind of just underneath there. So just going to take a moment and allow, and Sammie just activated this, I think. We started getting it going actually last Wednesday with Marissa, with some of these connections in the center of the brain, and then Sammie really was activating it, and even she was like, you could tell Thursday she didn't want to move. She was dizzy, you could tell. So just so you know how powerful it is, and to be careful even with your kids. So even they are building this new neurology in their physical bodies. Because remember, they in order for them to incarnate, they had to connect to the genetic lineage of what was, or they couldn't be here before the shift of this consciousness. And so now this is a new physical connection for them. It's going to be a new physical connection for us as well. And what that's going to look like, and how that we function with that, and how they will function with that is, I would just keep an open mind, keep an open door to what that's going to look like. So thalamus, kids are going to allow the kids to make connections to the hypothalamus. You don't have to know exactly where it is. Your soul consciousness knows what to do with the information. Also builds new connections to the hippocampus in there. And out from the hippocampus are two bulbs, two like almond-sized bulbs called the amygdala. the amygdala has been, let's say, overstimulated in this last epoch of humanity, vibrating and responding to fear, and has been in more of a fight or flight mode. And so we're going to calm the amygdala down as we build a new connection. The amygdala actually becomes like antennas even of that sentience, or two eyes or antennas. And if you look at some images, they actually look like antenna. So we're building new connections. And with this, it also makes new connections to the pituitary, while through the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus connects in a new way, bridges in a new way to the pituitary and the pineal. There's a metallic energy coming through right now, which is seems to be the energy of cesium. It's on the periodic table. Has a very fast moving energy to it, kind of goldish in color. Again, that's like a word that comes, I see it with my third eye, and so I'm not a chemist either, but these things come and then I look it up. So then we're going to bridge all these new connections going down through the brain stem, the throat chakra, the thymic chakra, or the 8th chakra, high heart. And now even through the heart chakra, the adrenals, making a direct connection to this right through the heart chakra. What we were shown last week was that the adrenals were being overstimulated. There was an energetic connection directly to the adrenals, when in actuality, then it should be, connection through the heart chakra, the high heart and the heart chakra, because then the heart intelligence can filter the experience to the adrenals. If you know, the adrenals put out a lot of hormones, including the stress hormones, cortisol, kind of radiating out that stress hormone. So when it goes through the adrenals, it becomes and filtered through the heart. We can filter the experience from the heart level. Okay, move along here. The time is getting, apologize, a lot to do here. This is kind of what it would look like. It connects down here to the egg of life, as you can see, in a ruby kind of energy. And I'm also gonna draw a salamander energy to connect all of this right into your Earth star. Okay? So that it stays coherent and balanced. Seeing how everyone's doing. Okay, reminder from someone, from one of the kids. I'm also going to put in, to balance with our electrical waves of our neurological system, what we call the lambda wave. And that's just the Greek letter lambda. It vibrates with total body consciousness, and also something called the tau wave. And that's just the Greek letter tau. It's the consciousness of the ascended earth. Also, to keep it all coherent and aligned, this is Manikawa. This is a 12th dimensional consciousness energy so that we stay in balance. So this should help you feel a little bit more balanced, because I could tell it was a little challenging. Okay, so the collective human is opening and expanding a little bit. Okay. Put a 12-pointed star around us, which is actually really a 24-pointed star. So if you make it three-dimensional, from our perspective, it becomes a 24-pointed star. Keep this balanced. And collective human as well. This is the spiritual alchemical law of genetic consciousness. And this is drawn as, you can see it's kind of that law of one looking symbol. I'm going to bring that down through our 7 body chakras. Crown, third eye, throat, heart chakra, solar plexus, sacral, root chakra, and also now in those points in the light body. Go in to the light body. And one of the things this young man in the group is saying, that one of the things that we've been going through in the last month or so is actually filtering through our genes, the genetic lineage, and going through the genes and the gene expressions that we want to keep that are kind of good, and the ones that we do not want anymore going forward. So it's been a filtering process, and the kidneys kind of filter. So if your kidneys have been getting a workout, that might be why. Just checking in, how everyone's doing. Clear again, some more. The Earth Star. This is assembled, and the name I just named it as the light language of it, which is Iwanu. This is spirit and matter. The black, again, being like the black liquid light. The silvery one, the white liquid light, and the in-between is the manifestation of our physical beingness. So you take this and even, right, like it's going right down through the center of your body and hitting all the chakras, your entire chakra system. And spirit and matter, aligned to the law of one. May all that I do be in alignment with spirit. May all the great teachings of the experiences that I have had in every incarnation in this universe come forward. May it be blessed. Take a moment now and allow it to even seep through the bones, the densest aspect of our beingness. So they're asking me to say it. So this is to get to the densest part. So it's going to sound a little weird, but it's so that's to get it right into the bones, get the bones to vibrate with that sound. Okay, we're almost done. We got just one more here to close. Okay. I'm gonna use this as a balancing shield for all the work that we did today. Again, this liquid violet flame is all the colors of the acetonial lines, the vertical channels, the horizontal channels. This symbol is like sort of an 18th chakra symbol. 18th chakra, and also obviously brought into coherence by Denadra, the liquid sun, or the 19th. Chakra. So we'll put this image out as well, cleanly, obviously. If you want to use it as a balancing and integrating sort of energetic matrix around you. I know we're still going out in the world, we're engaging with people that are not necessarily awake to what was happening. And so if you want to use it to keep yourself in coherence, even when you go out in the world, you can do so. So let's close the session. In the name of the I Am, and in accordance with the law of one, I proclaim myself to be a vessel of source consciousness. May all integrate this new information and consciousness with grace and ease, and allow the kids to come through. Any other messages or words? I'm going to let them close. There's one young man who really wants to close here. I honor you all. We honor you as parents, as galactic beings, all those incarnated to be here, the teachers and the way showers, our friends who work here intimately with us. We thank you for the support that you provide us. This is not an easy journey, but a necessary journey. And there are more grand designs to come through. You are blessed. You are all honored. We give you great thanks. We now close. Take a moment to release yourself from this energy process and from the session. Thank you to all. Namaste.